Stallone himself, we rehearsed it, and then he starts telling me what he wants from the character. I'm like this, we're like face to face with this icon.
Quisiera hablar sobre un cortometraje que se llama Mary Did You Know. Es una historia sobre la religión. Es algo distinto a lo que vemos en la sociedad, pero yo quiero como que preguntarle a Justin sobre cuál es ese concepto de la evolución del cine respecto a la religión y qué piensa sobre este trabajo.
So, our first question is that first of all, we're going to talk about the short film "Mary, Did You Know?" And
Okay.
we wanted to ask you your perception regarding the evolution of cinema and religion. In that case, because these have been two separate subjects that have been sometimes contradictory, sometimes on the same spot. So we would like you to give us like an opinion regarding the evolution of these two concepts, because as cinema is evolving, obviously the concept of religion itself is evolving as well. So what do you think about it?
Mary, did you know? That's it's funny. I wasn't thinking you would ask about that one. That was my first thing ever actually to do. But yeah, that was a very interesting project because I wasn't even aware of the full scope of it coming on, because I got pulled into that by a friend of mine, and we just had to play hospital patrons. And then after it came out, when I realized, I'm like, oh, okay, they're talking. It was the religious context to it. I was very much I wish I would have known about it beforehand, because it was a little bit of a shock to me at that point. But I think when it comes to cinema and trying to tell the story of religion, be it whatever sect it might be, it can be a very, very, very delicate subject to broach, of course, because a lot of people, feel very strongly about it. So I think if filmmakers, actors, directors, everybody can kind of make sure that they're all on the same page when it comes to what story they're specifically trying to tell in regards to religion, in regards to either are they trying to give an accurate portrayal of what happened, or are they going on based on the stories, based on scripture and literature that we have throughout our histories? Because, as I'm sure y'all both know, the story can change depending on who's telling it. And so I think it's important to really respect the format that they're going to start. They're going into that, and respect the what's the word I'm looking for? Well, not lore, but respect the true nature to it, because again, this is different for everybody. Versus, some people they steer towards religion because that's what they know and that's what they've been taught from when they were little. Versus sometimes people change religions, or they're introduced to it by film, perhaps. So I think as long as they can be truthful and accurate to something, to the source material, I think that's the most important part that as a responsible filmmakers that they should try to do. Because again, it's a very close subject for a lot of people, and it should be respected, regardless of how the individual might feel. You they always talk about actors and people working this thing. You got to know your audience. I think it's important to respect your audience and know that if you're touching on the base of something that passionate and that powerful, you need to respect it. And yeah, Mary, did you know? Yeah, that was that was a fun. That was, like I said, I had no idea. They just, like I said, I made no money on that. And they literally just told me, we just want you to be a hospital patron. And it wasn't until after, when the DVD came out, I'm like, oh, it's about that. So I was blindsided by that one for sure.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah.
Bueno, también yo quisiera hablar sobre otro corto, que es una historia muy loca. Yo lo pude ver en fragmentos, que se llama Jatenjor. Habla sobre una pandilla que trata como de ganar respeto. Yo te pregunto que ahí realizas un rol como un estilo Al Capone, como El Padrino. Entonces te pregunto, si alguna vez el cine te hace un casting sobre algún referente de la mafia, ¿cuál sería?
So the next question is that now we're going to talk about another short that you were in, which is called Cold Turkey.
Mhm.
And this one is more related to the crime genre. So you play, let's say, a specific character with a certain set of skills.
Mhm.
And when it comes to these types of roles, if you get a chance in your career, if you get a chance to be cast as like these types of characters like tough guys and whatnot, using references like The Godfather or Al Capone, um,
Mhm.
what would be your take on that? What would be your like your reference regarding that?
Mm. Well, obviously, of course, it would depend on the character, but I think if it ever, when it comes down to the idea of playing a bad guy, quote unquote bad guy, um, I think first and foremost, what I would try to figure out is what's motivating them. Everyone is the hero in their own stories, even the bad guys, even the antagonists. And while some of your greater villains know they're know they're doing wrong, a lot of times human beings, it's hard to find a person who won't be able to justify their own actions. So I would try to like figure out the psychology of what it is this person is doing, why they're doing it. Why do they have to perform X, Y, and Z? What is their end goal? And unless the character calls to be devious intentionally, like they're sadist or they enjoy hurting, they enjoy doing wrong, then it's mostly about what's the motivation behind this. Even though it could be a negative action. And I've always in during acting classes, I've never had the opportunity to actually play a real bad guy, but outside of acting classes and stuff like that. But I've always been very interested into it because I generally I'm generally kind of a uh, humble, nerdy kind of guy. I've never touched, gangster life whatsoever or anything kind of like that outside of that. So I think it would mostly be just try to like figure out the motivation behind what what's my goal. Either if it's to traffic drugs, traffic humans, murder, mayhem, whatever the case may be. What drove Al Capone? Was it power? Did he want to be bad? There's arguments for both sides, but it's the idea of like we try to hold on to whatever we can, and it's as tightly and strongly as we can. And it's a lot of times when you're trying to hold on to something so strongly, more is going out the window. I think that's a lot of time. My wife and I always make the connection or the idea of like, and being on the run is hard. Like live the life of a criminal cannot be easy because God, it's just exhausting. I mean, to try to really live that type of life and constantly be, looking over your shoulder and knowing that, that the noose is tightening. And I think, of course, once you get the bigger bads, they don't have to worry about that anymore. But I imagine playing that mid tier gangster kind of thing. But I think, yeah, it is finding out what motivates them, finding out what pushes this person to make these decisions. Why did they choose to start dealing drugs? Why did they choose to, why do they need somebody killed? Why do they need who messed up? It's kind of thing. Like, that's what I was going to, like, the why is the big question for it. So that's what I think we'd go from there. But yeah, Al Capone, man, I love Al Capone.
Which is your favorite Al Capone?
I don't really know actually. I honestly, I don't have I don't know how to answer that one. My favorite gangster, I think, obviously the great Scarface, Al Pacino, everybody like that. But I think the movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
pretty good movie.
Yes, very good movie. His portrayal and how you see Russell Crowe's character, Richie character, both sides, and I always really enjoyed that because it was like you really kind of got a sense of why Frank was doing what Frank was doing. And I think again that's a tribute to Denzel's performance, of course. But yeah, that's always when I think about that when I go like that. Yeah, American Gangster, I think, is one of my favorites. Outside of Goodfellas, the Godfather, all the classics. Those are classics for a reason because they're universally loved. So it's like I sometimes like try to like find the big bads that not too many people watch. So.
Bueno, la serie que todos estábamos esperando, Tulsa King, es una sensación en Latinoamérica. O sea, la mayoría está disfrutando Tulsa King. Y bueno, a través de Paramount y todo eso, pues me ha gustado mucho la serie. En un principio, pues no le tenía mucha fe, pero ahora sí le tengo mucha fe, por eso te contacté, porque créame que haces un papel muy realista sobre lo que son, más que todo, cómo se muestran los guardas de seguridad. Yo te quiero preguntar sobre cuál es la experiencia junto con Sly y también sobre qué podemos aprender del rol en la vida real de su personaje.
The next question is that, well, we're going to talk about now about Tulsa King, which is one of the big shows that is in the momentum. It premiered last year, and it has been very popular here in Latin America, and everybody is loving it now, despite Jhon not having much faith on the project at first, but he's been enjoying it very much. So we would like to ask you about your experience with the show, your experience, of course, with working with a legend like Sylvester Stallone on this one.
Yeah.
And also for you to tell us more about your character, which is a security guard, and what is the meaning that you can give to this type of role, and how this role becomes an integral part of the story.
Okay. Well, that was Tulsa King was a big surprise for me. I've been acting professionally about 5 years, and my career has gone from 0 to 60 in a way. Because I only had the two little roles that we all talked about, and then a commercial. I got the audition, and I didn't even realize what it was for. And then my agent called and told me, like, hey, you're on the short list for this. I'm like, oh, cool. And that's when I looked, I'm like, oh wow, Sylvester Stallone. It was huge. And then Fred the security guard, he hasn't gotten a last name yet. Fred was going to be there for one episode, maybe two, and with no ego whatsoever, I was able to, I impressed Mr. Stallone with just being on set and what I did. And he told, it was like my first day on set, I did my own stunt when Fred gets knocked out with the water bottle. And that's also a cool thing. It was like I'm part of a group of actors who've been knocked out by Sylvester Stallone. So it's pretty neat that I can be part of that family. But it was that moment. He decided, hey, I want this guy. Fred is going to be part of the gang, and they wrote me in. So I'm still learning about who Fred is, because I think the writers are still learning who he is. Because again, he was only supposed to be there to be knocked out once, and then that was going to be it. But then Mr. Stallone wanted more than that, and I'm very grateful for that. That guy, man, he's a force. It's like he. I remember I talked about it with a couple of the other co-stars. He's like a big ship. And he's going to do what he's going to do. He knows how to write, direct, and do everything. And so getting caught up in the wake of the giant cruise ship that is Sylvester Stallone, I was just trying not to drown and keep my head afloat. And I kept doing the right thing. And then, they gave Fred a couple lines here and there. And then, there was this one moment, which is it was really funny for me. I'll tell the story real quick. Where in episode 4, when they have the first big fight against the Viking, when we're all walking up with bats, that's Fred's biggest moment. Where Fred gives he has this plan of like, we're gonna go in, and I want to think this is what we're gonna do here. Stallone himself, we rehearsed it, and then he starts telling me what he wants from the character. I'm like this, we're in face to face with this icon, right? And he's giving me pointers on what he wants out of the character, and he's like, take your time. I want you to really, and then he pokes his, he pokes his fingers into my chest, because he's like, Fred, Fred's mad. He goes, I want you to be upset because X, Y, and Z, everything like that. And I'm just sitting there like, trying, trying to not nerd out because, Sylvester Stallone is giving me acting advice, but also listen to what the man is saying and absorb and hear him. Right. So the big takeaway was slow down, take your time. So we do a couple shoots, and then the director, a great guy, he comes over to me. He goes, "Hey, Justin, that was good. Let's speed it up a little bit." So Stallone's telling me to slow down, and the director comes and tells me, "All right, speed it up." And Michael Beach, who played Tyson's father, he's also on Mayor of Kingstown. If you look at Michael Beach, he's a fantastic actor. He has a lot of credits. But he was a great guy. I got to talk to him, and he sees my face because after the director told me that, I'm thinking like, all right, what do I do? All right, he told me to slow down, but I got to speed up. And Michael asked, he goes, "What's wrong?" And I tell him what I'm telling y'all. Stallone said for me to take my time. Director told me to speed it up, and he just laughs. He goes, "Figure it out," And it's like, so being able to be in that environment and adapt and just, go in there and do the best job that I could, being a complete and actual, I don't want to say I'm a complete novice, but, I'm very new in my career. And, it was a whirlwind, and then, there was sometimes on set where it's like, Sly. So we're referring to him as that because it's Sylvester Stallone, but he's like, "Yeah, call me Sly." The first conversation I had with the man, I was nervous, and I'm just kind of standing there, hey. And then 3 minutes later, him and I are talking about meal prepping, and you can't get a good piece of broccoli. Like he's just so relaxed and calm and chill, and he was like that with all of the younger, the first time actors, and even with like Garrett Hedlund and what's called Max Costello, who are these pros who've been acting forever, but we're all little fish compared to Stallone, but he was absolutely wonderful human being to work with, and just I know like my father-in-law, he's in Mexico right now, right? And he's excited about about it because like I know in Latin America and everything, Stallone's huge. Rambo is Rambo, and then Rocky, he's an icon, and so it's just being able to be part of this and turning one episode into 7 for myself. It's just been unbelievable, and I'm just really grateful and humble. And I have no idea what's coming in season 2. And like me and the people that worked in the weed shop, young woman named Grace, the one who she saves the day in the final episode, and then Clint, who's the guy with the dreadlocks. We're the weed shop employees working for Bodie. We're all like, none of us have heard anything. We're like, I don't know, we don't know what's gonna happen with our characters, but we all know like we're gonna come back, and so we're just excited and waiting to hear back about what's gonna happen with that. So, and it was a surreal experience that I'm very, very grateful for. Because man, getting knocked out by Rocky, and being able to do my own stunt for the first time, learning, I was taught how to fall onto the pad. It was a fantastic learning experience.
Man, yo digo que quiero felicitarlo por eso. Thank you, en serio, man. Justin. Me dice, Justin. Man, yo quisiera darle las gracias en serio por la oportunidad. Por favor, díganos tus redes sociales. Un saludo para Colombia. Y invita a la gente para que vean Tulsa King y también el proyecto que se viene, Happy Engagement. Entonces, la cámara es tuya.
All right, Justin. First of all, congratulations for this big opportunity and this career that is on the rise. We are seriously very happy of this opportunity talking to you, and hopefully in the next few years when you get into much bigger projects, we will be pointing at the television and say, "Ah, we know that guy."
Yeah, I'm grateful. I mean, when Jhon, when you emailed me and I was like, oh wow, and I emailed my agent and then you had reached out to them. So again, thank you for this opportunity. I'm very honored to like, wow, okay, sure, I'll talk. Someone wants to talk to me about it. So yeah, I'm very grateful to y'all. So thank you very much too for this opportunity.
It's our pleasure, Justin. And now, please tell us about your social medias. Where can we find you? Please give
Oh
us
yeah,
a big hello to Colombia, to the Colombian fans that are on the rise. Please invite the Colombian audience to watch Tulsa King on Paramount Plus. And sí, no le digo nada más, ¿cierto,
okay.
John?
Si más adelante pues invita a la gente a que vea pues el estreno. Aprovecha la ganga, Mito.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I'm
also Justin, sorry to interrupt you. Also, apart from saying all those things that I just mentioned, you please invite our audience to check the Ethereum Horror Film Fest, which will take place between June the 2nd until the 4th, and it will take place on several countries around the world. So it's going to be really great, and if you
okay. Yeah.
invite the audience to that, that would be awesome.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. Yes, you can check out Tulsa King on Paramount Plus. All first season is streaming now. And I know it's Paramount Plus Colombia. They have several different handles for that. But just search Tulsa King in any of your districts, and you'll be able to find it. It's a fantastic show. All for the whole first season, 9 episodes are available now. My name's Justin Garcia-Pruneda. I play Fred, the security guard. You can follow me on Instagram at justin.garpru. Pretty much all I got is Instagram. And then, yeah, there is a great film festival coming out that you're going to want to check out. If I can see, yeah, a horror film festival. If you're a big horror fan, which I am as well, you're going to love it. So make sure to check that out. It's the first chance you get.
Thanks, Justin. And also, I forgot to ask you about an upcoming project that is on its way, which is called Happy Engagement. What can you tell us about that right now?
Actually, that one, unfortunately, I don't know much about that one because that job, I think, I don't know if that ever actually might come out because I did was on screen for about 4 minutes. And that was like 4 years ago. So I don't know anything about what's going on with that project because Mr. Marcus, I think, is who's working on that. I haven't talked to him in quite some time. So couldn't tell you too much about that one. But definitely, I can tell you season 2, Tulsa King, will be coming out this year, probably later in late fall of 2023. And you'll see Fred in that again, probably. So. Also, con permiso, mi español es muy mal. So, I mean,
No, it's good, man.
Yeah.
Justin, gracias por la oportunidad. Un honor.
Muchas gracias. Y tú, señor. I'm very grateful.
No. Good weekend. God bless you. Bye-bye, man.
Okay. You take care. Bye-bye.
Gracias,
Take care,
Jan.
Justin. Say hello to Sly from us.
You definitely will.
Yes.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.